Hello guys, my name is Professor Nikhil Verma and I'll be teaching you all the second unit of retail management. However, before I start with the second unit, I wanted to just go through the first unit in the form of a revision so that when I teach the second unit, I get the proper flow and I can teach in the similar flow when I start the second unit. So let us just go through it very quickly so that we can start with the second unit in the next class. So retail, what do you mean by retail? When somebody sells goods for final consumption, it is considered as retail. Okay. So when a buyer buys it with an intention to consume and not to sell it further. For example, textbooks. I am taking the example of textbooks because you will be able to relate to it very well. If a bookstall is buying textbooks from directly the manufacturer in wholesale in bulk, why is the bookstall buying? With an intention to sell. So the buying and selling that happens between the manufacturer and the bookstall is not retailing. Why? Because the bookstall is buying with an intention to sell it further. However, imagine you who want only one book. You know the author well. Let us assume that the person is the professor of our institute and you have spoken to the professor and the professor is ready to sell the book to you. So you are buying only in one quantity. But with what intention you are buying it? You are buying it with the intention to use it, to consume it rather. And you have no intentions of selling it further. If you are buying even one book with an intention to sell it further, then it is not retail. When you sell it to the customer, it is considered as retail. Okay, that means retailer acts as the last link in the chain of distribution. So when the goods are being sold for final consumption, it is considered as retail. The person who is selling it is called as a retailer. So a retailer is a person who purchases normally a retailer is a person who purchases goods in large quantities from the wholesaler or manufacturer directly and then sell those goods in small quantities to the consumer. And because the retailer is selling goods in small quantities repetitively to almost the same customers, he or she might have additions or deletions, yes, but more or less similar customers or repetitive buying takes place from the same customers from the retailer. Because of this, what happens is they develop personal contact with the consumers. And since they develop personal contact, the main aim of these retailers is to provide maximum satisfaction to the customers so that they come to them repetitively. What do you mean by retailing, guys? Retailing is nothing but selling of goods to final consumers, whether it is sold by the manufacturer or wholesaler or retailer, doesn't matter. If you are selling goods for final consumption, it becomes retailing. And what do you mean by management? Management is nothing but a systematic method of conducting any given activity. And in all aspects of life, we see management being implemented. So it is very integral part of our lives. So retail management means all those steps that are required to bring the customer to your store and then fulfill their needs or demands. And retail management helps the customer to shop without any difficulty or hassle. That is retail management. So what are those factors that make retail management effective? How are you going to ensure that you are going to make the buying experience of the customer hassle free? We'll just look at those individually. A retailer must keep a record of all the products coming into the store. So it becomes very important to keep a track of all the products that are coming into the store because you need to know when you are supposed to reorder, what products are available in what quantities. Only when you know this, you will be able to manage your inventory well. The products must be well arranged. So the products that you are keeping for sale must be arranged properly so that the customer will know what products you have, what variety of products you have available with you. And you don't find it difficult to find a particular product when a customer is demanding for it. And for that, what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to plan the store layout properly. Only when you plan the store layout properly, you will be able to arrange the products appropriately. And the most important factor that is going to make retail management effective is not making the customers wait. That is the next point that is given. Don't keep the customers waiting. In this modern era, time is of utmost importance. So the customers would not like to wait. If you make them wait, there is a very high probability that the customers will not come to you to purchase products in the future. They might find an alternative, and they have variety of options available right now. Make sure that the sales representative attend the customer well, greet the customer with a smile. Sorry. This is also another important point, guys. With the amount of competition that a retailer has in the market, it becomes very important that you greet the customer, treat the customer well, make them feel important, make them feel special. Only when you do this will you have an impact where the customer will feel like coming back to you. So making sure that your sales representative treat the customer well is a key ingredient towards making retail management effective. Then the next point is stock has to be maintained well by the retailer. I have already explained this point along with the first point. And the last point is the store should be kept clean and should also create an attractive display.
Which means the better the display, the more customers are going to get attracted to it, and that will bring more sales. So let us look at the functions of a retailer in setting up retail management. Selection of a place. The location of the store should be convenient. Next is inventory management, which we have spoken about it earlier. You should be able to make the products available at the right time, in the right place, and in the right quantity required, and at the price that is affordable by the customers. Then marketing management. You have to also promote the products that you are going to keep in your store. Then CRM is customer relationship management. You have to build a very very positive customer relationship management system wherein customers feel like coming back to you for making purchases. And last is HRM. It is very important to retain the staff that are working in your store. The longer the tenure of the staff, the better equipped your store is to handle day-to-day tasks. Functions of retailer in distribution channel. Assortment of the products, breaking bulk, holding inventory, convenient locations and timing, providing services, increasing the value of products and services. So these are the functions of the retailer in distribution channel. So challenges faced by the retailers. These are the few challenges that the retailers face. They face stiff competition. There is a challenge while procuring products, because if you are in the business of retail, you don't know in what quantities you are going to sell in a given period. So while procuring, you have to find the right balance between the demand and supply. Then retail sector is yet to be recognized as an industry. That is one of the major challenges that retailers face. High real estate cost. Procuring physical space to act as a retailer is a big headache, because the cost associated with it is really high. Lack of basic infrastructure in rural India's. You don't see lack of basic infrastructure in metro cities, tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities. But if you go to the root level, that is the rural India, you will see lack of basic infrastructure. There is supply chain inefficiency because of the larger spread of this country, the geographical space I'm talking about. It becomes very inefficient to make your product reach to the nook and corners of the country. Then inventory management is one of the big tasks that retailers face, because they have to store their inventory in such a way that they don't get spoiled, or they don't get robbed, they don't get lost, or they don't get damaged, and stuff like that. Logistics is important aspects of retailing, which people are still trying to find the right balance and make it cost effective. Then you have human resource problems, which will persist no matter how well you try to manage your human resource. Then shrinkages, frauds in retail, red tape, political risk, and cultural disparity, and some other challenges. Evolution of retailing in India. Uh, the evolution has happened in three stages. First is traditional formats came up, and after that we had, see, after traditional formats we had established formats, and then now we have emerging formats which are still coming up as we speak. Which are the traditional formats? Traditional formats are barter system, peddlers, street vendors, weekly markets or otherwise known as bazaars, fairs otherwise known as melas, and mandis. These are the traditional formats of retailing. However, now you see established formats, the public distribution system, the ration stores uh, that you guys know famously as, those are the PDS. Then you have Khadi and Village Industries Corporation and mom and pop stores, which is Kirana stores. These are the established formats. And now in emerging formats, you have retailing by industries, that is industries directly doing the retailing themselves, manufacturers. Then the organized retail approach, where you have the organized retail outlets, and the retailing happens from there. Modern retailing and non-store retailing in India. There are furthermore new techniques of retailing that have emerged under non-store retailing in India in the form of network marketing and online. I'm sorry, and online retailing. These are two examples of non-store retailing in India. The role of retailers. I'll just read through it, guys. I'll not keep explaining because this is just revision. Link and communication between manufacturer and consumer. Retailers act as a link between manufacturers and the consumers because they are the middlemen who ensure that the product reaches the customer. Acts as an expert while distributing the goods. You can tell your customers as to how good the quality is, and the customer is going to believe you because you are going to act as an expert there. Create time and place utility. You are going to save time, and you are going to save the amount of distance that the customer has to travel by setting up a place, by setting up your retail store strategically. Comfortable and pleasant shopping, holding inventory, and shop display. These are some of the roles of retailers. Retailers as a link between producers and consumers. See, they act as a link between producers and consumers because they provide services to manufacturers, producers, and wholesalers at one end, and at the other end, they provide services to customers and consumers. That is why they act as link between producers and consumers. How do they provide services to manufacturers, producers, and wholesalers? They provide information about what customers prefer, what kind of mentality does the customers in that locality have. Then relieve wholesalers from selling goods. They do the selling on behalf of the wholesalers. Financing the wholesaler by paying advance for the goods, definitely. Helping the wholesaler to introduce new products in the market. Services to consumers. There are numerous services, guys. We can keep talking about it, but let me just read through these points. Assembling variety of products and placing them at the doorstep of consumers. Provision of credit facility to its customers. Provide personalized services to consumers or customers so as to give maximum satisfaction. Introducing new products to the customers and consumers and guiding them on usage of it. Free home delivery and other after sales services. Cash discounts on the products sold. Valuable advice regarding use and maintenance of products. These are some of the services that are given to customers. And what is e-retailing? E-retailing is retailing over the internet. In simple words, that is. When you shop through e-retailing, there are various payment methods that are available to you. You can pay using net banking, debit card, credit card, UPI wallets, etc. There are some of retailers that have grown leaps and bounces in the past few years in India. They are Flipkart, Amazon, Jabong, Myntra, etc. Advantages of e-retailing: easy access to market. You can sit at your home and browse through all the products that are offered by the retailer. Economical. It is definitely economical because you get rid of all the intermediaries, and you get greater discounts. Manufacturer may act as the retailer. Definitely, they can have their own retail website, and they can ask you to purchase from their website directly. You'll have wider scope because people from any nook and corner of the country can place order on the website. using the e-retailing portal. Then you have comfort, like I told you, you can sit in your house and place the order, so it is at your comfort. Better market research, because in their backend is a, as in I'm talking about a tool wherein they know that from which part of the country what products are being demanded more, which type of customer browses what type of products. They get to know variety of information at their fingertips. Availability and precision are some of the advantages of e-retailing. Disadvantages is website cost, security and fraud, legal issues, advertisement costs, customer trust, shopping experience, purchase by inspection, sale or return, trust not for rural India. These are some of the disadvantages. Purchase by inspection, I'll just explain one or two here and there. Purchase by inspection means, when you shop online, you can't inspect and purchase. You can't have a physical observation of the product and then place the order. That is one of the defects or disadvantage of e-retailing.
Shopping experience. See, what experience you would have had while going to shop in a retail outlet, you cannot have the similar experience online in e-retailing. So that is one of the disadvantages. Then there are 4 types of e-retailing, guys: B2B, B2C, C2B, C2C. B2B means business to business, B2C means business to customer, C2B means customer to business, and C2C means customer to customer. Okay. Essentials for the success of e-retailing. What are those that are considered as essentials? Let us see one by one. Dealing in branded products, transparency in dealing, visual merchandising, value addition to products, competitive pricing, better customer relationship management, prompt delivery, and attractive and active web design or website design. So guys, what are those aspects that make e-retailing successful? First is, you got to deal in branded products. You can't deal with non-branded products or cheap quality products, and there has to be transparency in dealing. You guys have been shopping online. I know everybody these days shops online, mainly on Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra, Jabong, and some other websites. So you definitely look for branded products. You don't trust the non-branded products or not so famous brands so easily, because you don't want to go through the hassle of claiming the warranty and claiming refunds later on if the product goes bad. So then we have visual merchandising. How Lenskart is giving you a 3D experience of experiencing how a specs or how an eyewear would look on you. That is visual merchandising. How you visualize yourself in those particular products, like clothing business mainly. Value addition to products. And then competitive pricing. This is one of the important points, guys. Competitive pricing. Why would you buy online and not from the retail outlets nearby, nearby your house, or from the same city? Pricing will be one of the major driving force, right? People these days buy online because they get products at cheap when compared to the offline stores. The pricing that is offered is far more. The products are offered at a very competitive price. The pricing online is on an average, say 5 to 10% cheaper than the pricing available in the retail outlets. So the next is better customer relationship management. If you face any difficulties, if you are not happy with the order, the customer relationship management process that is there is really good, or has to be really good in e-retailing. Then prompt delivery. See, I personally prefer Amazon over Flipkart because the delivery of products ordered on Amazon are more prompt when you compare it with any other e-retailing website available out there. Then attractive and active website design. People prefer Flipkart more because of this reason, because their website is more attractive. The user interface is better than that of Amazon. What are the challenges of e-retailing? Illiteracy and ignorance. People are not yet literate, or they are not aware. People are still not so comfortable placing orders online, and that is one of the challenges of e-retailing. Logistics support is one of the challenges. Making available like making the products available at nook and corner of the country is a very hectic or a tedious job in itself, and having good logistic support is very important. So that is one of the challenges. Ineffective cyber laws and hacking and privacy are a few more challenges of e-retailing. So that's it from the first module, guys. We are going to begin with the second unit from the next class. Okay, thank you. That is the next video. Thank you, guys.